This video is about the cleaner slept on the bench until a wealthy investor gave her the keys to his office. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The city was a tapestry of dreams and despair. Tall glass towers loomed above the streets, reflecting a world of success, while below, shadows danced among those who had fallen through the cracks. In this bustling metropolis, where hope often felt like a flickering light, there was a woman named Sophia who had become a part of its hidden rhythm. Every morning, Sophia would rise before dawn, her breath forming clouds in the crisp air. She lived on a bench in the park, concealed amongst the trees that whispered secrets to one another. At night, the stars glimmered above her like distant promises, and during the day, she would sweep her worries aside as she diligently cleaned the offices of the towering buildings that dominated the skyline. With a mop in one hand and a bucket in the other, Sophia glided through the glossy floors of those buildings invisible to most. But she found beauty in the mundane, transforming her work into dance, twirling around desks and chairs, letting the rhythm of her heart guide her. Each stroke of the mop represented a world she hoped to someday embrace. "Morning, Sophia," called out Jason, a friendly janitor from the floor above. He passed her, his own car trailing behind him. "You were up bright and early as usual." "Just trying to keep the world a little cleaner," she replied, her smile brightening the dim office. "How are the kids?" "Growing like weeds," he laughed, and they exchanged stories before returning to their tasks. But the warmth of the moment faded as the sun began to rise higher. The reality of her situation tugged at her heart. Each evening, she would return to her bench, looking up at the stars, wishing for life beyond her current struggle. She often thought of her family, who had once been her anchor but were now distant, lost to circumstances that had spiraled beyond her control. Her life was a constant battle against the tide. Each dollar she earned went towards food and the occasional warm drink. The park became her sanctuary, yet the chill of loneliness seeped into her bones. Still, she clung to her dreams like a lifeline. One day, as she was cleaning the penthouse of a prominent investment firm, a well-dressed man entered the office. He was tall, with salt and pepper hair and kind eyes that seemed to soften the sharp edges of his sharp suit. Sophia barely noticed him at first, lost in her task. It was only when she heard him call out to her that she stopped and turned. "Excuse me," he said, "I couldn't help but admire your work ethic. It is rare to see someone so dedicated." Sophia's cheeks flushed, and she felt a mix of pride and embarrassment. "Thank you, sir. It is just my job." "Your job?" He chuckled lightly, shaking his head in disbelief. "This isn't just a job, it is an art. You bring life to this place." Sophia hesitated, surprised by the compliment. "I just do what I can." "I am Oliver Reed," he introduced himself, extending a hand. "And you are?" "Sophia," she replied, her hand slipping into his. "Nice to meet you." As they talked, moments turned into minutes, and time slipped away as they shared stories of their lives. Oliver spoke of the challenges he faced in business, how setbacks had shaped his journey. Sophia shared her struggles with vulnerability, the loneliness, and the hardship of keeping hope alive. "I've always believed that resilience is the key to success," Oliver said, his gaze steady. "Your spirit shines through your work, Sophia. I admire that." She felt an unfamiliar warmth bloom inside her, a flicker of hope ignited by his words. For the first time in a while, someone saw her. Days turned into weeks, and after Oliver's chance visit, their paths crossed often. He would drop by the office while she worked, exchanging words of encouragement that wrapped around her like a comforting blanket. With each encounter, she felt a spark growing within her, a sense of belonging, a feeling that maybe she could rise above her circumstances. One afternoon, as they shared a laugh over a spilled cup of coffee, Oliver looked at her with an intensity that made her heart race. "Sophia, may I ask you something?" "Yes, of course," she replied, her pulse quickening. "What would you do if you had the chance to step into a whole new life?" The question hung between them, heavy with possibility. She hesitated, her mind racing back to her dreams. I would like to own my own cleaning business. I want to provide jobs for others like me, to give them a chance to start anew." "Then why not make that happen?" he urged, a fire igniting in his eyes. "You have the heart for it. I could help you, Sophia. I can't promise it will be easy, but I can promise you won't be alone." Tears brimmed in Sophia's eyes as she absorbed his words. "But I don't have anything to offer. I am just a cleaner." Every great dream starts with a small step. You have the grit, the determination, and a vision. Let us turn that vision into reality. What do you say? In that moment, something shifted within her. His belief in her potential was a balm to her wounded spirit. She saw the flicker of hope that had been buried for so long, and it ignited a fire deep within her. I'll do it, she whispered, almost afraid to speak the words aloud. I'll try. Oliver smiled, a broad, genuine smile that radiated warmth. Keep that spirit alive, Sophia. We'll meet tomorrow and I'll explain everything. As she left the office that evening, the weight of uncertainty clung to her, but it was overshadowed by a sense of exhilaration. For so long, her heart had been shackled by despair, but now the chains were loosening. Perhaps she could turn her dreams into reality. As night fell, she returned to her bench, the familiar warmth of the stars above her. They twinkled like tiny beacons of hope, and she realized that perhaps life was ready to offer her a chance to rewrite history. The next morning, Sophia woke with renewed determination. She packed her few belongings and made her way to Oliver's office. Each step felt weightier, as if the universe was testing her resolve. When she arrived, Oliver greeted her with an enthusiastic smile. "You're here, let us get started." Over the following weeks, he guided her through the intricacies of business. They spent hours brainstorming ideas, drafting plans, and reaching out to community organizations. Oliver's support became a steady anchor in her life, but the journey wasn't without its challenges. Sophia faced skepticism from others, and moments of self-doubt crept in like shadows. What if I fail? What if I am not cut out for this? She would wonder during sleepless nights. Every step you take is a step toward growth, Oliver reminded her. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. With every setback, she learned to lean on the strength that had always been within her. She began to see her past struggles not as burdens but as lessons that shaped her resilience. As her confidence grew, so did her vision. She dreamt of a company that not only cleaned offices but also uplifted those who felt invisible, offering them opportunities to thrive. Months passed, and the day finally arrived when Sophia was ready to launch her business. Standing in front of a small group of supporters, including Oliver and Jason, she took a deep breath. "Today marks not just the beginning of my business, but the culmination of hope and resilience," she declared, her voice steady. "I want everyone to know that no matter where you start, you can rise and shine." The applause that followed filled her heart with joy, and in that moment, she realized that the bench where she once slept was now a launchpad for her dreams. With her spirit ignited and a community rallying behind her, Sophia knew the journey was just beginning. The city, with all its challenges, was now a canvas waiting for her to paint her story of hope, resilience, and the beauty of the human spirit. And so, she stepped into her new life, ready to embrace every challenge with the strength she had discovered within her. As Sophia embarked on her new journey, the weight of her past was both a burden and a blessing. She drew strength from the struggles that had shaped her, each setback now a stepping stone toward her brighter future. With Oliver's unwavering support, she began to flesh out her vision for the cleaning business, Bright Futures Cleaning. Before diving into the work, Sophia knew she had to face her fears head-on. The first challenge was securing the necessary funding. Oliver arranged a meeting with a local community bank known for supporting small businesses. "You have to believe in yourself, Sophia," he encouraged her. "Your story is powerful, use it." The morning of the meeting, Sophia stood before the mirror, adjusting the collar of her modest blouse. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of how far she'd come. "You're not just a cleaner anymore," she whispered to herself. "You're a businesswoman." The bank's lobby buzzed with the hum of activity, and anxiety crept back in as she glanced around at the polished professionals. "I don't belong here," she thought, her heart racing. But just as she was about to turn away, Oliver's reassuring presence anchored her. "Remember why you were here," he whispered, nudging her forward. Sophie sat across from the bank manager, a middle-aged woman with sharp features softened by kindness. "Ms. Ramirez, I understand you have a proposal for us," the manager began, her pen poised above a clipboard. "Yes, I do," Sophie said, her voice quivering. "Thank you for meeting with me." She took a deep breath, steadying herself. "I am starting a cleaning business that aims to provide jobs for those who, like me, face tough times." As she spoke, she felt the weight of her truth pouring out. "I believe in the power of second chances. Everyone deserves a chance to rise." For a moment, the silence was deafening. The manager's gaze softened. "Your passion is palpable, Ms. Ramirez, but what makes you think you can succeed in such a competitive market?" Sophia's heart raced. "Because I know what it feels like to be overlooked, to be considered invisible. I want to create a company that not only provides jobs but also lifts people up. We will focus on quality and community." The manager leaned back, a thoughtful expression crossing her face. You have a compelling vision. I appreciate your honesty, but I need to see a solid business plan. As they discussed projections and strategies, the manager's skepticism diminished. Sophia poured her heart into the presentation, detailing her plans to create a nurturing workplace and invest in employee development. When the meeting concluded, the manager leaned forward, eyes gleaming with intrigue. I can't promise anything, but I believe in your vision. Let us explore your proposal further. Hope swelled in Sophia's chest, but she knew this was just the beginning. Thank you, she said, her voice barely above a whisper, and left the meeting buoyed by a newfound sense of possibility. Days turned into weeks filled with brainstorming sessions and late-night planning. Yet doubt sometimes nibbled at the edges of her resolve. What if I let everyone down? She would muse aloud to Oliver during their late-night work sessions. He assured her, his eyes twinkling with unwavering belief. Remember, every great achievement started with a single step and a lot of hard work. Your determination is inspiring. With each passing day, Sophia learned the intricacies of running a business, how to manage finances, market her services, and build a network. She started to form connections with local shelters and community centers, eager to recruit individuals who had faced hardships. I want to give them opportunities, she told Oliver, her passion igniting. But skepticism lingered in the air. Sophia faced pushback from some who doubted her background would lend itself to success in the corporate world. Urea cleaner, Sophia, a former colleague, remarked dismissively during a chance encounter. What do you know about running a business? But rather than let that comment crush her spirit, it fueled her fire. I know what it's like to work hard. I know the value of a second chance, she replied, standing tall. As she prepared for the launch of Bright Futures Cleaning, she faced the daunting task of hiring a team. Each candidate embodied a story of struggle and resilience, mirroring her own. She felt a kinship with each person she interviewed. When Maria, a single mother of 2, stepped into her office, her eyes reflected the hardship she carried. Have you been looking for a job for months? Maria admitted, her voice trembling. I just want to provide for my kids. Sophie felt a pang of recognition. I understand, she said, her heart swelling with empathy. I want to help you find that opportunity. After a series of interviews, Sophie assembled her team, a tapestry of diverse backgrounds and experiences. At the team's first meeting, she felt a surge of pride. We were not just a cleaning company, she told them. We were a family. Together, we will uplift one another. As the launch day approached, the butterflies in her stomach became a tempest. Self-doubt whispered cruelly in her ear. What if no one hires us? What if you fail? But with Oliver's encouragement, she faced each fear head-on. On the morning of the launch, Sophia arrived at the office early, her heart pounding with anticipation. She had invited the community to celebrate this new venture, hoping to connect with potential clients. Oliver stood by her side, his presence a soothing balm. The event unfolded beautifully, filled with laughter, food, and joy. Sophia shared her vision with those gathered, her voice steady. Today marks more than just a business opening, it marks a commitment to our community. Each of you is a part of this journey. As she spoke, she caught sight of familiar faces from the park, people she once considered her neighbors in struggle. She felt a swell of gratitude. Together, we can redefine what it means to succeed. The afternoon glimmered with warmth, laughter echoing in the air. As the event came to a close, a woman approached her, eyes sparkling with excitement. I want to hire your team, she declared. My office needs help, and I believe in what you are doing. Sophia's heart soared. Thank you, she beamed, overwhelmed by the promise of possibilities. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the city, Sophia sat outside her office with Oliver. I can't believe we did it, she said, tears glistening in her eyes. This is just the beginning. Oliver nodded, a proud smile spreading across his face. You've built something incredible, Sophia. Your resilience has created a ripple effect of hope. I couldn't have done it without you, she replied sincerely. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Their conversation meandered into the night, filled with dreams and aspirations. With each word spoken, Sophia's confidence solidified. She was no longer just a cleaner, she was a beacon of hope for others, a testament to the power of perseverance. As days turned into months, Bright Futures Cleaning flourished. The team embraced their mission, supporting one another in ways both big and small. They not only cleaned offices, but they also cleaned the hearts of those they served. Sophia often reflected on her journey, the winding path that had led her to this moment. The city, once a tapestry of despair, transformed into a vibrant landscape of hope. One evening, after a long day of work, Sophia returned to the park. The bench that had once been her home now felt like a fond memory. Sitting beneath the same stars that had once twinkled above her on her darkest nights, she closed her eyes. "I am not defined by where I started," she whispered to the universe. "I am defined by where I am going." With a heart full of gratitude, she opened her eyes, the glimmering stars reflecting the light of a new beginning. The city was no longer just a backdrop, it was a living, breathing testament to resilience, and she was a part of a story of hope, healing, and the beauty of the human spirit. The sun rose over the city, casting golden light across the skyline that had once felt so far away from Sophia's grasp. With each new day, she felt a deeper connection to the life that had unfolded in the months since she launched Bright Futures Cleaning. The laughter of her team echoed in her heart, a chorus of resilience that resonated through the walls of their shared journey. One crisp morning, as Sophie prepared for work, she glanced at the framed photo of her team on her desk. Maria, Jason, and several others smiled back, each face embodying stories of struggles and triumphs. "What a beautiful tapestry we've woven," she mused, feeling a swell of pride. The first client, a small tech startup, had called just days after her launch. They adored her mission of uplifting the community and quickly became one of her most loyal patrons. As she arrived that morning, the laughter of her crew filled the office before they even entered the building. "Let us make it shine, team," she called, her heart buoyant. The camaraderie had blossomed into a familial bond, and with every sweeping motion of the mop, they shared stories and laughter. "Did you see the new coffee shop nearby?" Maria exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "They have the best pastries. Let us finish here, and I'll buy you all some." Sophia promised, the prospect of sweet treats making her heart flutter. The laughter and excitement were contagious, and as they worked, she felt a flicker of gratitude for how far they had all come. However, the warmth of her workday was interrupted by the unsettling news that trickled in from the city. A major corporation had announced layoffs, leading to a wave of uncertainty for many workers, including some of Sophia's friends. What if they cut back on cleaning services? Jason wondered, concern etched on his face during their lunch break. "We could lose clients." "Then we adapt," Sophia said firmly, her determination shining through. "We'll reach out to more businesses. We'll show them the value of what we offer: quality, heart, and community." With that resolve, she set out on a mission to expand their network. She connected with local chambers of commerce and community organizations, sharing the vision of Bright Futures Cleaning. The response was overwhelmingly positive, as more individuals lined up to support an initiative that celebrated resilience. But as the weeks progressed, Sophie encountered another challenge. A series of unexpected costs began to gnaw at their budget. Repairs on the company vehicle, cleaning supplies, and wages for her team weighed heavily on her heart. One evening, as she sat at her desk poring over numbers, the stress began to suffocate her once bright spirit. "Hey, what has got you down?" Oliver asked softly, leaning against the doorframe of her office. "I don't know if we can sustain this," she replied, her voice heavy. "Every time I think we're making progress, something else comes up." Oliver walked over and knelt beside her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Sophia, running a business is a marathon, not a sprint. You've built a strong foundation, and with challenges come opportunities for growth. Let us brainstorm solutions. I don't want to let anyone down." Her eyes shimmered with vulnerability. "You won't," he assured her, his gaze steady. "You've inspired many already. Remember the woman who approached you last week? She believes in you." Sophie took a deep breath, his words igniting a flicker of hope within her. "You're right, I can't lose sight of our mission. We're more than just a business, we're a community." That night, Sophie gathered her team for a meeting, eager to share her concerns and seek their input. "I feel overwhelmed, but I know we can face this together," she began. "We've built something beautiful, and I need your ideas on how to move forward." Marie spoke first, her voice steady. "We could offer discounted packages to local businesses that need help but are tight on budget, that might attract new clients." "I like that idea," Jason chimed in. "And we can also consider referral bonuses for our existing clients." As they brainstormed, Sophie felt the weight of her worries lift. The team's creativity flowed freely, transforming their struggle into a shared mission. By the end of the meeting, they had devised a plan that not only addressed the current challenges but also reinforced their commitment to the community. With renewed determination, Sophie implemented the strategies they had devised. Days turned into weeks, and to her great relief, the efforts began to bear fruit. New clients poured in, and they found themselves busier than ever. For Sophia, it was a testament to the power of resilience and collaboration. "Look at us go," she cheered, celebrating with her team one afternoon after their busiest week yet. We were not just surviving, we were thriving. The camaraderie grew stronger as their victories piled up, but soon another challenge emerged. One of our team members, Ethan, faced a personal crisis. He had been caring for his ailing mother, and the pressure began to weigh heavily on him. One afternoon, Sophia noticed him sitting alone in the break room, his usual smile absent. "Ethan, is everything okay?" she asked gently, sitting beside him. "It's just my mom's condition is getting worse. I am trying to balance work and being there for her, but it's hard," he confessed, his voice trembling. Sophia's heart ached for him. "I can't imagine how difficult that must be. I want you to know that we're here for you. Family comes first, and we'll support you however we can." Tears glistened in Ethan's eyes as he nodded. "Thank you, Sophia. I didn't expect that. Remember, you were not alone in this. We were a family, and we'll help carry that weight together," she reassured him. In the days that followed, the team rallied around Ethan, offering additional support to lighten his load. They covered shifts and checked in with him regularly. Sophia found immense strength in the unity they cultivated, a reminder that true resilience meant lifting one another in times of need. With every passing challenge, Sophia felt herself growing stronger. The setbacks that once paralyzed her became stepping stones toward personal growth. She learned to embrace vulnerability, allowing herself to be human amidst the whirlwind of responsibilities. One evening, as she walked home in the soft glow of the streetlights, Sophia reflected on the journey thus far. The city, once a backdrop of despair, had transformed into a canvas painted with resilience, courage, and hope. She had forged a path not just for herself, but for those who saw a glimmer of possibility in her story. As she reached the park, she paused at the bench where her journey had begun. "I've come so far," she whispered to herself, tears brimming in her eyes. "And it's just the beginning." That night, Sophia dreamt of a brighter future, a vision where Bright Futures cleaning expanded beyond the city, reaching other communities in need. She envisioned training programs, workshops, and mentorship opportunities for individuals ready to reclaim their lives. With renewed vigor, Sophie gathered her team the next morning, eager to share her vision. "What if we could help others start their own businesses?" she proposed. Imagine creating a ripple effect of empowerment. The room buzzed with excitement as they brainstormed ideas, their passion igniting a spark of creativity. "We could partner with local shelters and offer training programs," Maurice suggested. "And we can provide mentorship to help them navigate the challenges of starting a business," Jason added. As the meeting progressed, Sophia felt her heart swell with possibility. "Together, we can build something greater than ourselves. We can inspire change beyond our city." With every idea, they solidified their mission to uplift individuals facing hardships. The prospect of expanding their reach breathed new life into their work, igniting a sense of purpose that filled the air with hope. Days turned into weeks, and their plans began to take shape. They secured partnerships with community organizations and set up workshops that offered practical skills training. Families and individuals eager for a chance to rise began to pour in, filling the room with stories of resilience that echoed what Sophia had once faced. One afternoon, a young woman named Leela walked into their workshop, her eyes filled with uncertainty. "I've been struggling to find work after losing my job," she admitted. "I want to start my own cleaning business, but I don't know where to begin." Sophia approached her with warmth and understanding. "You're in the right place, Leela. We're here to support you every step of the way." As Leela began her training, Sophia saw a spark of hope ignite within her. Each week she flourished, her confidence blossoming alongside her skills. "Thank you for believing in me," Leela told Sophia one day, tears glistening in her eyes. "I never thought I could do this." "You're doing it," Sophia replied, her heart swelling with pride. "You're a testament to the power of resilience." As months passed, the ripple effect of their work began to extend beyond their expectations. Stories of success and triumph flowed through the community, inspiring more individuals to join their journey. Together, they were creating a legacy of hope that resonated across the city, a testament to the beauty of the human spirit. On a warm summer evening, Sophia stood in front of a gathering held by Bright Futures Cleaning, where former trainees shared their stories of transformation. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as proud family members and friends filled the room. Sophia looked around, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. "Welcome, everyone," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Tonight, we celebrate not just achievements but the resilience that defines us. Each of you here has a story to tell, and I cannot wait to hear them." The applause that followed was thunderous, echoing off the walls of the community center. Sophia's eyes glimmered with tears as she spotted Leela in the crowd. The young woman had blossomed, radiating confidence. Let us start with Leela, Sophie said, beckoning her up to the front. You've come a long way, and your journey has inspired many. Leela stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly as she gripped the microphone. Thank you, Sophia. I never imagined standing here sharing my story. Just last year, I was lost. I felt like I had hit rock bottom after losing my job. I thought I would never find my way back, she said, her voice quivering before the crowd. But coming to Bright Futures changed everything. I learned not just skills, but also belief in myself. The room filled with nods of encouragement. I remember the first time I walked through those doors, Leela continued. I felt so small and invisible, but each class, every lesson, lifted me. You treated us not just as students, but as family. Sophie's heart swelled as she watched Leila's transformation. You've found your light, and it is shining bright, she whispered, beaming with pride. Now, I am not just dreaming, I am starting my own cleaning business. Thanks to this incredible team, I feel prepared to take on the world. Leila's voice rose with excitement, igniting the audience's cheers. As Leela stepped down, Sophie felt the weight of her own journey, every struggle, every tear, and every moment of doubt. She was reminded that the path to success was often a winding road filled with unexpected turns. She turned back to the audience, her heart racing. Leela, you read a testament to the power of resilience. Your success is our success. The evening continued as more former trainees took the stage, sharing their experiences of growth and empowerment. Each story echoed the mission of Bright Futures cleaning, to uplift and inspire. As the last speaker wrapped up, Sophia took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. Later that night, as the crowd dispersed, Sophia and her team gathered to celebrate. What an incredible night! Maria exclaimed, hugging Sophia tightly. I am so proud to be part of this journey, our journey. Me too, Jason added, raising his soda can. To the future and to Sophia, who believed in all of us. Cheers, everyone chimed in, clinking their cans together. As laughter filled the air, Sophie felt gratitude surge within her. Thank you all for being here. You are all the heart and soul of this company. You each bring something special to the table. But Sophia's heart held an unshakable weight. She had been hesitant to share her own story that night. What if they didn't see her as a leader? What if they only saw a cleaner who once slept on a bench? Hey, Oliver said, noticing her contemplative expression. What is on your mind? Why, she hesitated. I was thinking about sharing my story tonight, but I held back. Why? He asked, concern etched on his face. I guess I am afraid. I don't want anyone to see me as just a cleaner, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I want them to know I am more than that. I want them to see the leader I've become. Oliver placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. You are more than that. You've built this company from the ground up. Leading with kindness, your past doesn't define you, it shapes you. Share your journey. It could inspire someone else who feels lost. Sophie took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of his words settle into her heart. You are right, she said, her voice gaining strength. I will share my story. It is important to remember where we came from. The next day, as she prepared for another workshop, Sophie felt a sense of purpose radiating from within. The gathering had sparked a fire in her, one that encouraged authenticity and vulnerability. She wanted others to know they could find strength in their stories, just as she had. When the workshop began, she stood at the front, her heart pounding. Welcome back, everyone, she began, her voice unwavering. Today, I want to share something personal, a piece of my journey that led me here. The room quieted, eyes focused intently on her. I wasn't always a successful business owner. Just a few years ago, I was sleeping on a park bench, struggling to make ends meet. I felt invisible, like I was part of the city's shadows. Tears glistened in her eyes as she recounted the struggles and the moments that had tested her resilience. But I learned to embrace those struggles. They shaped my perspective and ignited a fire within me. Each of you has the power to rise above your circumstances just as I did. The room was silent, the energy palpable. I stand here today not because I am flawless, but because I refuse to give up. If I can rise from despair, so can you. As she finished, the applause erupted, echoing her heartfelt message. The participants, inspired, began to share their own stories of hope, struggle, and perseverance. After the workshop, Leela approached her again, tears streaming down her face. Sophia, I needed to hear that today. I often feel like my past is a barrier. Thank you for showing me it can be a stepping stone. Your past is a part of you, Sophia reassured her. But it doesn't have to define your future. Use it as fuel to propel you forward. Weeks passed, and Bright Futures cleaning continued to flourish. Sophia's team grew, and they expanded their training programs. They began collaborating with local schools to empower youth, offering classes on entrepreneurship and life skills. One afternoon, as they prepared for a workshop with a group of teenagers, Sophia felt a rush of excitement. "This is our chance to inspire the next generation," she said, her eyes sparkling. As they entered the room filled with bright-eyed teens, Sophia's heart raced. "Hi everyone, I am Sophia, and I am thrilled to be here today." She gazed into the sea of faces, remembering how she had once felt lost and invisible. "I want to start by sharing a little about my journey. A few years back, I faced many challenges. I was homeless, struggling to find my footing," she began. "But through determination and the support of others, I found my path." As she spoke of resilience, she saw the teens lean in closer, their interest piqued. "You all have the power to create your own futures. Don't you let anyone tell you that your dreams are unattainable." A girl raised her hand shyly. "But what if we fail?" "Failure is part of the journey," Sophia replied, her voice steady. "Every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. What matters is that you keep going." As the workshop progressed, Sophia encouraged questions and sharing. The energy in the room shifted, transforming into a space of authenticity. One boy shared his aspirations of starting a business, while another spoke of family struggles. Sophia listened intently, her heart swelling with empathy. After the workshop ended, one of the girls approached her. "Thank you for sharing your story, Sophia. It made me feel like I can do something too." "You absolutely can," Sophia replied, her smile radiant. "Believe in yourself and take those first steps. I promise you, the journey is worth it." Days turned into weeks, and Sophia felt her mission solidifying. Bright Futures Cleaning was more than a business. It had become a beacon of hope, uplifting individuals across communities. Yet challenges persisted. One evening, as she sat at her desk, crunching numbers, she felt the weight of pressure mounting. The utility bills had unexpectedly spiked, and with the growing team, payroll had become a balancing act. "Are we going to make it?" she wondered aloud, the uncertainty gnawing at her. Oliver entered, sensing her distress. "What is going on?" "We were facing some financial strain," she confessed, her voice heavy. "I am worried about maintaining payroll and keeping the business afloat." "Let us look at this together," he suggested, pulling up a chair. "You've built a strong foundation. We can brainstorm ways to mitigate costs and explore more partnerships." As they mapped out a plan, Sophia felt hope flicker within her. "Thank you for always being here," she said, her heart warming. "I don't see where I'd be without your support." "You've got this, Sophia. You are a force to be reckoned with," he replied, his eyes filled with unwavering belief. With renewed determination, Sophia focused on finding solutions. They approached local businesses for potential partnerships, highlighting the community impact of Bright Futures Cleaning. Slowly, new contracts began to trickle in, relieving some financial pressure. One sunny afternoon, as Sophia stood in the